Hey guys, welcome along to Hellmouth Hotline. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and we're doing a little review on season 1 of Angel in this episode. This is episode 9, entitled Hero. Fantastic, awesome little episode in the series. One of those episodes that really cements how serious this show can get. And right up until that last few minutes in the episode, when you start to realise what's going to happen, you're still holding out a little bit of hope that it's going to switch its way about. And spoilers before we go any further, we lose Doyle in this episode, and you're kind of hoping that later on it'll be brought back into it, but this is it. Game over for that character in this episode. Now, I don't want to delve in too deeply to what happened in the real life of Doyle outside of the show. I know he passed away shortly after this. In actual real life, he actually did die, and I could hazard a few guesses right now, but yeah, I remember checking it up ages ago. I think he had substance abuse problems, to say the least, in his own personal life, and that led to his death. Now, that may not be 100% accurate, but there's definitely truth in that. So, having said that, I don't know if that was a key to actually him leaving the show, or maybe it was, the producers maybe thought, okay, he's got such problems in his own personal life, we'll write him off here. I don't think that was the case at all. We get Wesley comes into the series, which would have been planned from the very start, and you needed that character to introduce the visions into the story that Doyle had, which passed to Cordelia after he goes. But we're jumping way ahead of ourselves. We'll discover that in the following episode. But in this one, absolutely fantastic. At the beginning of it, Cordelia, she's trying to pitch Angel on the idea of a TV commercial for the superhero Avenger of the Night sort of a thing. And he's completely skeptical, of course. She then sees Doyle and she thinks, maybe Angel's too much of the superhero. Maybe we need a down to earth sort of a guy to take on this role for an advertisement. So Cordelia is frustrated with Angel's brooding. Doyle volunteers to get in there. Angel tells Doyle how he sacrifices humanity and happiness with Buffy in order to be able to continue fighting evil. And Doyle commends Angel's heroism and avers that he himself lacks that strength, that he cannot even ask out or be truthful with Cordelia. This is after, of course, the attempt at a TV commercial. And Cordelia puts him in front of a camcorder. He goes through this little script that she's given him, and advertising, Angel Investigations, we help the hopeless, we'll go the extra mile sort of a thing. And he finishes it off with, is that it? Am I done? Whenever he finishes the attempt at the advertisement. So I skipped over that there. I really should have done that before we get into this little conversation between Angel and him. Angel, he's having a little brood about his life and what he's doing and whatnot. And, Doyle's picking him up because, at least he's got the courage to do what he wants to do. He's still having trouble. He's got a crush on Cordelia and he can't bring himself to tell her or be honest about it. So later on, Doyle, he's getting up the courage and he's about to tell Cordelia his secret, and he has a vision during it, and they head off, and on arriving they find a group of Lister demons, refugees. They're hiding, and because they're saved from this group called the Scourge, who is a group of full blood demons that are against any demon that is like a half caste demon. So this group of demons, which is the same group that Doyle is from, is half blood demons. So these guys are taking them out, hunting down anything with half blood. This counts everything like vampires, you name it. They're against everybody. So they haven't been saved by Angel. Hail him as the promised one. They're being pursued by the Scourge, of course. Just stormtroopers ready to take him out. Doyle tells Angel about a similar incident in his past in which he failed to help others of his own kind who had been haunted by the Scourge. Unprotected, they were massacred. So, in the first episode of the series, of course, whenever Doyle comes to Angel and tells him, you've got a bigger role to play here, and, I have the visions and whatnot, and talking Angel into getting into this crusade to help the helpless. Angel asks Doyle in the first episode, that's for me, why are you doing this? And Doyle says in the opening episode that we've all got something to atone for, and this is the episode where we discover what it is. So Doyle is confronted with that past of running away when he could have helped people against these demons. So Angel and Cordelia and Doyle, they arrange passage for the Lister demons on a cargo ship. Reef, Lister demon who is skeptical of Angel, takes off alone. He runs away. He's not into all these prophecies of a promised saviour and whatnot, and he says, I want to get out of here before the Scourge comes back and kills everybody. I'll be better off my own getting out. So off he goes. Doyle pursues after him, and he persuades him to return, but he gets that little moment with this kid to help him make the choice that Doyle couldn't make in his own past. There's a nice little moment between the two of them before he brings them back. The Scourge are approaching. Doyle and Angel create a diversion, resulting in Angel pretending to join the Scourge. Of course, he pretends to break Doyle's neck, and this impresses the leader of the Scourge. He's like, a half-breed that kills other half-breeds. You could have potential here. So Angel, he's in full Angelus mode at this point, playing the bad guy, wanting to get on there. He says, your cause, you want to take out demons, you want to kill people. Nobody's going to do it better or quicker than I can, sort of thing. So they bring him on board. Angel, at one of their meetings, learns they have a human blood specific weapon. It's like a beacon of light, just like anything that this light touches, if it's not pure blood demon, it's disintegrated. And they have a prisoner there, and they use the light on him as a demonstration, and it just incinerates him, essentially. Burns him to the core, gone, nothing left whatsoever. So yes, this turns out to be the first mate on the cargo ship that has came to them. The cargo ship that's going to take these Lister demons out of Cordelia and Angel and Doyle. The first mate wants money from these guys, so he comes, turns them in, gives them all over to them, pretty much. Here they are, go get them, give me some money. But they use this beam on them and incinerate them. When the Listers board the ship, one of them unwittingly reveals to Cordelia that Doyle is half demon. He's like, Doyle specifically knows the stress we're under, and Cordelia kind of takes offence to it, that why is Doyle getting more credit than me, like I'm helping you as well, sort of thing. And he says, no, it's nothing personal, it's just somebody that's half demon would understand a little bit better. So this is the truth that Doyle has been scared to tell Cordelia since episode 1, and she finds it out from someone else. So when Doyle arrives with the kid Reef, Cordelia, she gets at him for having withheld the truth from her, and she's like, so are you going to ask me out already? So, leading up into the final episode, or the final moments of this episode, sorry, the truth has come out about Doyle, but I was scared to tell her. At this point, her feelings has got that strong for him that that's not going to make a difference. She's interested in him just as he's interested in her, and she's like, are you going to ask me out already? So Doyle gets his courage up. He's just about to ask her out when Angel turns up, and he doesn't get the chance to do this. He's warning that there's an attack coming, and they need to ship off now. The first mate's not coming back. He's betrayed us. Get the ship out of here. Let's go. The listeners secure themselves in the ship's hold while Angel fights off all these demons as best he can, and he cannot prevent the scourge from lowering the beacon into the hold. So this thing is coming down and it's charging up. Angel beats off the last of the attackers, and the listeners and Angel team, they're all trapped inside the hold. So Angel prepares to defuse the beacon, knowing that it'll be, this is going to end him if he does this. And he thinks, if I'm quick, I might be able to do it. He explains to them what happens here whenever this light touches anything that has any human blood in it at all. It kills him. So as he's having his little hero moment, saying goodbye to Cordelia, and Doyle echoes Angel's earlier words about heroism and the good fight. It's all about the good fight. So Doyle puts his hand on Angel's shoulder. It's like, the good fight, yeah. And Angel's kind of like, At which point Doyle balls up his fist, knocks Angel off. They're up about 10 or 15 feet above the floor, and he knocks Angel off onto the ground below, and he turns to Cordelia and he changes to he kisses her dead in the lips. The courage is right up there for the first time. He's like, the confidence is 100% at this point, and Doyle, he's no longer afraid of the truth and whatnot, and he grabs Cordelia, kisses her in the lips, and you see very subtly that there's this little beam of light that passes from Doyle's mouth into Cordelia's mouth, and he steps back, and of course the listeners are these like green-skinned demons with like horns all over their faces, and whatever you want to call them. And he changes for the first time in front of her, and he's like, it's too bad that we'll never know if this is a face you could learn to love. And at that, he jumps onto the beacon, and as it begins to disintegrate his body, he manages to unplug the power cable above it, saving everybody else. So it's fairly brutal in the way that it's done. The visuals, you've got the Doyle jumps onto this thing. It's like a cage, and inside the cage there's this beam, or there's this big light that's charging up, and as soon as it detonates, off it goes. So he's there, this thing's starting to rip his body apart, and he's got the hands on this cable trying to pull it apart, and you can see the flesh starting to slowly disappear, and then as he pulls the cables apart, his eyes disintegrate into his skull, and one last scream, flash of light where he's at, he's gone, and everybody else is safe. So we cut directly from there to the final moments of the episode, and it's Angel and Cordelia sitting in the office, and they're playing back the little commercial that Cordelia recorded at the beginning of the episode of Doyle talking about angel investigations. We help the hopeless. Come on down, you'll find out there's still heroes left in this world. And they finished the episode with nothing from Angel or Cordelia, simply Doyle talking on the video. And at the very end, he's looking directly into the camera, perspective of what was recorded earlier on, and he's like looking directly into the camcorder lens. So at this point, full screen, he's looking directly into her eyes, and he's like, is that it? Am I done? And we just fade to black, and that's the end of the episode. Absolutely brilliant episode, as I've said from day one on this podcast. When it comes to Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel is easily, I just hit my funny bone. Angel is easily my favourite of the two shows. It's a little bit more grown up than what Buffy was, and some of the stuff that they cover in the series was, by today's standards, you might think it's a little bit tame, but back whenever this has been first aired, it was just very, very well done. And right now, watching it again, it's standing the test of time pretty well. Like there's bits and pieces on there where you've got like early internet and whatnot, and you don't have there's not an iPhone to be seen anywhere. And the very odd times when you call someone, they might go to the actual telephone box, But it was a nice time, and the 90s, I want to say, whenever this came out. Like I think this was just pre 2020, I want to say. Let me just check this was 1999. This episode was aired. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, great little episode, and one that gets me every time, like that. For a character that you've only known for 9 episodes, Doyle makes a huge impact on you. He's just a likeable character from word go, and when you lose him in this episode, it does hit you where you live at. Fantastic. Right, that's going to do it for this episode. Join me on Friday night for, I think we're going to be getting into the Halloween trilogy, the recent Halloweens from Blumhouse. Let me just check my listens here to see what I've got coming up. Yeah, so join me on Friday for Halloween from 2018. So I'm looking forward to getting to the end of these Halloween movies. I'm enjoying them, but it's just getting to be a chore at this point. But anyway, we'll see how we go, and we'll do it on Friday. So please come back, check out the podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, rate and review it, share it along. I really need people to start sharing this in their social media, so if you could do that, I would really, really appreciate it. So until the next episode, guys, whatever you're doing, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all then. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.